Hey everyone, welcome back to part 5 of Draconian Fire Elementalist. I'm Ultraviolent 4. We're picking up back in the middle of a fairly horrible Orcish Mines. In the last one we nearly died quite a few times down here. It was rough going, but we made it out alive. Well, we made it out alive. We made it back to Orc 1 alive. Quite a few consumables lighter, but alive all the same, which is the main thing. I see here that Bahamut is telling me to let it end in hellfire. Little does he know that there's no such thing as hellfire anymore. They renamed it to damnation. Get your act together, Bahamut. Alright, I thought I'd start this one off with a quick lesson about sort of late game skilling for casters and sort of where you should be going with your spells. So if we have a look at my spell list, we pretty much have spells here that are powerful enough to finish a 3-rune game. We have Bolt of Fire, Spellforged, Fireball, and Orb of Destruction. Orb of Destruction especially is good enough to kill Orbs of Fires, Ancient Liches, Cursed Toes, basically anything super scary. I mean, Orb of Destruction can kill Panlords in an extended game as well. So a mistake I see a lot of players make, especially new players, but even pretty good players make it, is they feel like they need to be locked into this mage mindset where we have to get the biggest, baddest spells possible. So probably, say there's a good chance for Bahamut, when we get to 6 Piety, is going to offer us Firestorm, which is a level 9 fire and conjuration spell. In order to cast that, we'd have to train a lot of conjurations and a lot of fire magic. We'd be putting a very large amount of our experience into those skills for quite a long time. So here's the lesson that I'm trying to give. You don't need to do that. The way that you should be skilling generally, but this is even more important for mages, is that once you have the tools that you need to kill things, and even not just even for the whole game, even if just for the moment you are comfortable killing things around you, then there's no point getting bigger, badder spells. You're better off training your defenses. So I wanted to show you this. Here's a query I prepared earlier. And what this is showing is, for all the games that I've ever won, what is the title of that character? So if we quickly jump over to my player page and we check out the Octopode I just played. So you can see here, Ultraviolent 4 the Conqueror. So the title is this bit here. And your title on your character reflects the highest skill that character had. So this was a Conqueror. And a Conqueror means that you got fighting to level 27. So if we have a look at our skills here, 27 fighting, we had 25 shields, which is another defensive one, 23 dodging, again defensive, and then everything else was not even really close. So that's how the titles work. If you have a look here at the titles on my 1 games, 31% of them I get fighting to 27 as the first skill to get there, and in another 24% of my games, fighting is my highest skill. So we're talking about here 56% or so of my games where fighting is the highest skill. So I'm trying to show that your defenses, especially as a mage, are really, really important. So don't just think you need to keep getting better at spells, more powerful, bigger spells, will kill things even more, and then we'll just not worry about dodging, fighting, etc. Don't think like that. You don't need to go Firestorm in a 3-rune game. Sometimes you can, sometimes it is the correct choice, but don't feel like you're locked into a mindset where you have to. Alright, that's it. That's Ultraviolent 4's rambling session. Maybe we'll play a bit of Crawl now. So I know there's an Orc Knight sitting down here. So I hope I don't just go down and die. We didn't, which is always nice. And I'm trying to remember, it's been a few days what my spells are. Okay, so Bolt of Fire is on C. Good. I may as well, well there's a Sorcerer, so I'll just bring this guy up. But I want to XP the Sorcerer because I never actually did it. I was so I was worried about the Paralyze. It's a 16% chance, so it's not like it's definitely going to kill me. Sorry, it's not like it's definitely going to paralyze me any chance it gets, but 16% is still a risk that I'd rather not be taking when surrounded by Orc Knights and the like. Alright, we've got some new things spawning. Just hit him with some... There we go. Alright, and when I was talking about going to train your skills, so if we equip my wizardry and you have a look at the spell failures here, we can pretty much cast everything comfortably, but that's if I'm equipping wizardry. If I take it off, then I'm still not quite there. And I'm also, as you saw in the last episode, facing some fairly high hunger issues with my spell casting. So I want to keep training spellcasting conjurations for a little bit longer, and then once I'm there, then I'll throw in some more fighting, dodging. Potentially we'll go to a bigger shield later on. $15. We want to go int. We got more AC, good. Int, in addition to making your spells stronger and more castable, helps to reduce your spell hunger. So that's always helpful too. As much int as we can get. I feel like I just want to throw an Orb of Destruction at him. Okay. He's a very, very tricksy sorcerer. Let's go as Servitor. There we go. Oh, right, he's right there. Good. I'm not minding just throwing out bolts of fire at all these guys. While it costs me a lot of hunger, we can just eat orcs. As in, they drop corpses, so I'm not really worried about my food situation in here. Once we go into, say, the snake pit, where we can't eat poisonous chunks, then I wouldn't be so rash about using my high hunger spells. Here's another one. You can just probably, okay. My Orb of Destruction is, there's another one. This is, whoops, wrong one. This is a very orc sorcerer filled Orcish Mines. Alright, I think that's the stair we did. Let's try this one again. The last time we came up here it was ugly. Alright, Spellforged, still very strong. Alright. There's a High Priest, that's another enemy that we don't want living. Okay. As long as we're fighting these orcs one at a time, they don't really pose too much of a threat. It's when we've got a bunch of scary orcs at the same time that we're potentially gonna get paralyzed, etc. Because if it's just one-on-one, we can quite easily blow them up. We're out of mana here, but Spellforged, yeah, take care of them. The old... Ooh, yeah, that's right. I forgot that Josephine is probably down here. So I'm going to make a servitor. And I don't think I have RN. Not on me. Oh, I have 1. What am I getting 1 from? It's on my buckler. Okay. I do have these gloves that are RN++, but just having 1 should be good enough. Josephine does a fair bit of negative energy damage. So, yeah, any ring of protection from negative energy you have lying around, good time to pull it out. Also better, as we just did, if you can manage to separate the race from her, because the race can slow you and then she can blast you as well. You saw that we actually had no problem with her on her own. She's fairly fragile, so she's kind of high damage, but flimsy unique. So what have we got here? A +2 Amulet of Reflection is not that exciting. If it were +5 or 6, it would be pretty good. A +2 Ring of Evasion isn't as good as a +4 Protection. Generally speaking, AC is better than Evasion anyway. Rings of Fire, no. I'll put the C Invis on my shopping list because that's something we'd ultimately like to have. This tells us we're probably not going to starve to death. A shop of food. This is a general store. Magic mapping. Let's have a look what this book is. Nothing in there that we want or need. Bit more food. Nothing else really. And a weapon store with plain weapons. So this is a fairly disappointing set of shops. We know that one of our lair rune branches is a snake pit, for which we'd like to have protection from poison. We do have, again, these gloves, but they have RF-, so in a pinch I'll wear them in, but I'd rather if I could find a ring of R poison or something else. Alright, so that's our orc done. Don't ever then just wander into the elven halls, it's a bad idea. You need to be much higher leveled for that. And we're going to go clear the rest of the dungeon. So we've only been to 11 and 15. Alright, so we're going to go, when you do this ghost screen, if you do the $, well, we actually need to say first, we want to go to dungeon, and then if you do the $, that will mean the deepest level of that branch you've ever gone to. What else is on my shopping list? Nothing before that. Right. So I completely forgot about this, but I had a war axe. I mean, 900 gold is a lot for it, but if I had used the MR on that against sorcerers, they would have had no chance to paralyze me, I think. And actually, I think I may as well just pick up that C Invis ring. Being a bit indecisive, but yeah, we'll grab it. So then we're likely to see unseen horrors and stuff in the dungeon now. Let's go to dungeon, $. Alright. Not the hatch. Here we go. So this might be the R poison. Yeah, it was. Okay, so called it. Alright, that's good to have. So that will allow us to do Snake Pit without needing to be RF-. Being RF- in Snake Pit is a big deal because there are salamanders who do fire damage. Alright, let's try to do these guys one at a time. We'll hit the wall. I think I'd rather just make a servitor. Yep. And we are starving. This is why I want to train my, there we go, my spell casting. So I don't just fight 2 enemies and then suddenly I'm starving to death. That is, yeah. So when you finish dungeon after doing Orc, like D12 and stuff becomes fairly easy. We can't equip a larger tank with the shield, so we won't entertain those dreams. It's a 2-handed weapon. Okay. Bolt of Fire is probably more hungering than Fireball. Yeah, by quite a lot. Okay, I should just be using Fireball as my go-to killing things when I'm not shocking them to death. Like this. Even the Fireball is making quite a bit of hunger. Perfect. All of them were fitting in the one Fireball. It's kind of the dream. The mana efficiency dream. Alright. The One of Clouds is kind of nice, as is the Acid and Paralysis. I'm going to check out what potions I don't know yet. Cancellation Experience Invis. Okay, they're all really good potions, so I'd like to know if this is one. Invis, yeah. That's really good to have. Not so useful in Snake Pit, because the Nagas all see Invis, but when we go to Shoals, or even most of the enemies we're going to see in the dungeon here, won't be able to see Invis either. Alright, Conjurations to 15. Let's have a look at our spells. If we take this off, Servitor is the only one that's really not there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to train Conjurations normally. I'm going to focus spellcasting so I can try to address this hunger. I'm going to turn both fighting and dodging on. In fact, I'm going to focus fighting. So we're putting a third in fighting for defense, a third in our hunger, about 16% to make our spells more castable and powerful, and another 16% in dodging, in defense. So just if there's one thing that you pick up from watching me play a Fire Elementalist, it's do not underestimate the importance of your defenses. I was going to say, are these guys all about to just join together? Yes, they are. It's alright. We have Blink, so we could always just do that. And you get a lot of value when you sticky flame these guys and they split, as you can see. The sticky flame stays on all of them. I'm not going to eat while I'm just hungry. You can see if we can get a bit more, if we can find a corpse. So Kirky, if we XV her, which is to examine, we can see we have a 25% chance to be turned into a pig. That's really scary. So I'm going to make a servitor, and as long as there are pigs and stuff between her and us, and or servitors, this is okay. We're starving. Did he? I was going to say he got it already, but no he didn't. So I'm going to eat, and I'm just going to hope that he takes her out. I think I can shoot through him and he won't care. Really fire through him, yes. He's very resistant to fire, and I know that he doesn't get angry at you. He won't turn on you if you hurt him. So I can fireball on top of him, yep, to help get Kirky, and he won't care. Right, good. Got it. And I think my servitor should take out, yep. Excellent. Let's eat the hog corpses. We'll pick up this wand of acid. Probably I only need one of them, so I'll drop the one that I zapped 7 times. And I'll just adjust this to be X, because that's what I usually acid things with. This human, he's neutral. Ooh, okay. So if we XP the wizard, he could have one of these 3 sets of spells, one of which has a 16% chance to banish us, which we really don't want to happen. So I'm going to make a spell forged, and then I'm going to sit behind him. That way I can't get banished. Good. And I could have, again, shot through the servitor, but a wizard is again another sort of fragile enemy, so I felt pretty confident that Spellforge would take it out. We're getting near starving, that's no good. Here's a bunch of spiders. Okay, now we're starving. I was hoping we could blow them all up before we became hungry again. Alright. We're very hungry. Let's eat that royal jelly. Alright, there was a... whoops, an ant there I could have eaten. Whoops. Oh. It's okay. As I've been saying, I'm not actually too worried about starving to death. This looks like an artifact ring. No, it's not. Okay, so we can check I have remove curse. I do, so we can see what this ring is. Wizardry. Okay. I don't need to have it on now, but I can keep it with me. I mean, maybe after that big speech, we will learn Firestorm eventually. In which case, wizardry would be nice. But yeah, it's not something I need to have on. Wand of Digging, excellent. That's very good to have. I want to ID that when I get a chance. I'm still carrying around this sling and picking up sling bullets. Seems kind of unnecessary now. Yeah, let's just drop the sling bullets and hunting sling. And even the Fashion of Holy Wrath, probably not going to use that. And if I hit backslash, I can turn off sling bullets, so we don't need to pick those up anymore. 13, let's go to 14. Fighting to 10. That's a lot of ugly things. Try to... No, this isn't happening. Okay, we're out of mana, so we may as well just back off. Do we have anything to eat? No. And then we'll pick another stair. Oh, we need to eat again. Surely there's a problem. Alright, if I have a look, if we ever get a Staff of Energy at some point, that would be really nice, because that removes your hunger cost for things. And again, backslash, I'm going to turn on Unknown Magical Staves, so when I see them, I'll auto pick them up. Let's try again. D14. Alright, so here it is. That's the entrance to the vaults. Got a bunch of relatively dangerous monsters in there. Whom it offers us knowledge of Poison Arrow. I feel like that's something I don't really need. Because what will Poison Arrow do that my spells don't already do? I've got Bolt of Fire. Anything that Bolt of Fire won't work on, Orb of Destruction will. So, yeah, this is fine. Okay, Spellforge went down. I'm out of mana. So again, I may as well bring the Hippogriff up with me, because that on its own isn't much of a threat. And I'll go to the 3rd stair. Okay, just shock these dudes. Kobolds not so dangerous come dungeon level 14. Wand of Confusion. I'm gonna drop that, re-pick up our food, and I'm gonna turn those off in order to pick up. If I want to confuse something with low MR, I'd be better off just using, where are we? A Wand of Paralysis. I'm also going to pick off Acid, turn off, and I guess Digging. You don't really need more than 1 Wand of Digging. He's a bit more dangerous, which is why I'm using my Bolt of Fire, although he managed to dodge them all, it looked like. Yeah, so I guess we should have just gone with the fireballs. Really, there's a lot of ugly things down here. It's amazing how quickly we get hungry. Okay, I can start sort of sword fighting him. No, but it's ugly. So I'm gonna go Wand of Acid, I guess. There we go. If I have a look, have I found any mutation potions? 2. Yeah. I think I'd rather just not play mutation roulette with the new system. I used to play it all the time, and now that they changed it to try to encourage you to play it, it seems much more dangerous. Oh well. So basically, before, you used to be able to gamble on, like this, on mutagenic chunks, and if you got a bad mutation, or you got something that would ruin your day, you could quaff a cure mute, and then maybe try again. But now with the new potions of mutation, if you use those to try to get rid of bad ones, there's no guarantee that you wouldn't get an even worse one. So say we got something that was pretty bad but not super bad. Say we got Frail, or you have 10% less magic points. That'd be pretty bad for us, both of those. If we then try to quaff mutations to get rid of it, we might get Teleportitis, which teleports you randomly to monsters on the floor you're on. And that would be much worse and much more likely to kill us. So, yeah. Unless you have a really big stack of potions of mutation, I don't think I'd feel comfortable playing roulette with them. And the whole of last game we only found 2, and we've only found 2 so far this one. So, I don't know, maybe we're just getting really unlucky, or maybe the new ones are not really that common. Okay, what do we got here? Protection from magic is really good. I'm just going to pick one up now, so if we ever find monsters that can paralyze us, we can switch to it. Everything else, protection from cold is kind of good to have, because we don't currently have, we do have 2. We've got 1 on our scarf, and what's the other one? Where is our other protection from cold? I don't know, so I'm confused. Unless the scarf gives you 2 points? Surely not. No, that's just 1. So where's my other one? Don't know. Well, somehow we protected Ah, okay, right. I was thinking naturally as a Draconian, this made me vulnerable to cold, but it's not. It's just if you're not resistant, then you get slowed. Okay, so I am crazy, rather. Yeah, that's my 1 point. Okay, so that means that ring isn't a priority. I can leave it on my shopping list, but I don't need it. Magical power is nice, but as I said before, I'd rather have extra AC. And this artifact amulet gives you a little bit of extra int, but RC minus and spirit shield, which is really, really bad for someone who depends on their mana to live. Or to kill things. Which is in the sense that I mean live here. Roxanne, okay. A red unique, really dangerous, but cannot move. Generally speaking, it's just not worth fighting her. You're better off just leaving her alone. She has a book with earth magic, so if you're really after statue form, maybe you could try to kill her. But the safer play, 9 times out of 10, is just to walk away. Occasionally, if you get really unlucky, the turn you see her, she can blink you on top of her, and then crystal spear you. But yeah, that sucks. But normally you can just walk away. Okay. Let's see what these gloves are. Another +2. Okay. These ones are blue. The other ones are yellow. I think the blue ones look a bit more stylish. Yeah, they look a bit cooler. So if you have 2 items that are equivalent, you may as well take style into account because you want to look good when you're crawling the dungeon. You don't just want to be some some unmatching character who just sort of stumbled into the dungeon off the street during the middle of a night out. No, you want to be looking stylish. All right, T15. Let's go. Let's finish the dungeon and think about our first rune branch. He left me a body. That's nice of him. Tengu River. I was going to say just before I saw the Tengu River, this looks like it might be some sort of a vault because we've got stone walls and we just saw a Death Knight, which isn't a usual enemy that you find in the dungeon. Sometimes you do, but they're normally in special packs. And here's a Tengu River, who's listed as being red. If we XV him, he has a lot of scary conjurations. I'm just thinking now, again, I keep forgetting my breath attack. So I was fighting that ugly thing before and I started hitting it with my sword when I could have at least tried to lightning it. Alright, so these guys are really dangerous. What I might do is throw out a servitor, and if I get lucky, I'm going to shoot through my servitor as well. The servitor might just blow him up. It looks like... okay. So we just ate a bolt of poison. He has Venom Bolt, Poisonous Cloud, Corrosive Bolt, and Battle Sphere. Yeah, it looks like... Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that we could... Oh man, a Shadow Dragon. We don't want to be there. I was going to say, I don't think one more Venom Bolt could kill us, and it would probably go down to one more shot of something from our servitor. So a Shadow Dragon in the dungeon is really scary. They're scary enough in like Zot, let alone at this stage of the game. It's kind of making me think that I might even just skip this floor for now. Yeah, okay, so we got a protection of coal for free. So we can not worry about that other one that's in the shop. Alright, so if we've seen a Tengu Reaver and Shadow Dragon, suggesting to me that there's probably a whole bunch of high level monsters in there. Maybe also some good loot, which, I mean, is tempting, but dying would also be... You can have all the loot in the world, but if you die for it, what was the point? What is the worth of a man? Of a character? Well, I'm trying to... Let's give it a go. Breathe lightning. Hey, it worked. Whoa, man, that went everywhere. Maybe that levels up as you level up. That was pretty impressive. What is the worth of a Draconian if he gained all the loot in the world but lost his life? I think that was somewhere in the Bible, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm kind of torn. I tend to get suckered into these sorts of things, like doing... Here's our depths entrance. I think I'll just leave that too, because I'm feeling like I don't really want to do this floor. I don't know. I tend to get punished for trying to do, say, Ice Cave or Volcano without the requisite resistances. So when presented with this opportunity of maybe get some loot but also really dangerous, I don't know. Because the thing you have to remember is, especially in Crawl, but this is true of roguelives generally, you only live once. So because you have permadeath, you can't just throw your life away. It's your only one, right? So if you think about it that way, that you only live once, you maybe don't want to do these. And yeah, I've convinced myself I don't want to do this. Let's get out of here. We'll be convinced by the YOLO argument and just play safe. There's an Orc Warlord. He has a Flail of Distortion, so this is like nightmare material right here. Fortunately, we should just be able to... I was hoping we'd sneak out. There are all these shadows. Alright, don't sticky flame them because you can't sticky flame ghosts. So there's an Orc Warlord of Distortion somewhere down there. So I think, and I'm just going to X out all the stairs down as a reminder of D15 is really scary. Yeah, I've done it. Okay, good. And I can place an exclusion if I do... I want the annotation to be for 15. So if I look at this floor and I do exclamation mark, I can do an annotation for it, which means when I go down it will give me a warning. So I can say Scary Vault and Orc Warlord with Distortion. Alright, so now when I come back in a bunch of episodes time and I can't remember why all the stairs are X'd out, I can have a look at my annotations. Also, if you hit Control O, you can see them all. So here we go. D15 has one. Cool. Alright, so in that case, we're going to do our first rune branch. So we have two choices here. We have either Shoals or we have Snake. In the vast majority of games, Shoals is the most dangerous lair branch. You have all the crazy things that can keep you rooted in bad fights, such as the sirens mesmerizing you. You have a whole lot of things that are hitting you from range. You move really slowly through the water, and it's just generally a bad time. It's not quite so bad for us for two reasons. The first is that Fire Elementalists are pretty good in Shoals. When you use fire over water, you make steam clouds, so all your fire spells basically do extra damage. They also make fog, so you can use that to sort of escape from things. As well, because we're a black Draconian, and in fact, am I not flying? Wow. Okay. I think I stopped flying some point in maybe the second episode to fight Gastronaut and then forgot. So yeah, we can fly as a black Draconian. So that makes water everywhere be not as bad. Okay, so in saying that, Shoals is not as bad for us, but still, even with those things, I still think I'd rather go do the Snake Pit. Maybe if I didn't have R Poison, but I do. So I'm going to put the R Poison on instead of this +4 protection, which is a bit sad, but we really need the R Poison. And then we're going to head off to the Snake Pit, and we'll go to 0, which is the entrance. Okay. Just... that's alright. Do that in a sec. Did I kill it? I think so. Yeah, we got it. No, we didn't. Alright, there's a salamander who we couldn't kill when we just had fire magic. You can see just using 2 orbs of destruction makes us really hungry. So that tells me that I still want to train more spellcasting. That was the thing I wanted to look at. If I take off wizardry, I have a look at my spells. 5% on Spellforged. We'll keep training some conjurations. Maybe I'll just put summonings up to maybe level 13. One more level and then we'll stop. So yeah, my spellcasting is fine. We'll go a little bit more conjurations. We want a fair bit more spellcasting for our hunger issues. And then fighting dodging. Alright, so here we are at Snake Pit. I think we'll call that an episode there. So if you join me next time, we'll do Snake Pit. We'll try to get our first rune. See you all later.